Greetings Rider fans, this is the Nightmare Rider with you once again. And this is going to be a first riding of Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger. Now, I am not very familiar with the Super Sentai series. I know it was the basis for Power Rangers, but the extent of my knowledge comes from the Power Rangers clip and the fact that Linkara sometimes mentions in his History of Power Rangers series some of the elements that the Sentai series is based off are themed differently. For example, I know that the one that was based off, that Power Rangers in Space was based off, was actually a virtual reality series, and that Power Rangers Turbo was based off Car Ranger, which was actually a parody, a self-parody of the Super Sentai series to keep the series fresh and going. Now, I knew that this was basically going to be a Power Rangers or Super Sentai Pirate, whichever you prefer. This is just basically going to be pirate themed, and we had samurai in the last one. We've had ninjas before, so it could work. But then I saw the 5-second movie, which is more than 5 seconds, as 5-second movies tend to be, on the D2 Brigade to put to Ailstorm music. Now, I adore Ailstorm. I freaking love Ailstorm. They are one of my favourite bands, and I've seen them live before, and let me tell you, they are awesome live. They really kind of had fun with it, and just pulling it anything pirate themed goes well with that, and it's just kind of meshed so well that I just had to check this out. I'm a Kamen Rider fan, you know, and so far I love Tokusatsu, but I've just never really gotten into Super Sentai before until now. Now this is going to be a really, you know, fresh first impressions video, because I have only seen the first 2 episodes. I know there's only going to be like 10 to 15 episodes so far. I think there's 10 episodes subtitled overall. Whether that's because of TV Nihon starting late, or a tribute to the Japanese tsunami, which I hope the relief effort is going. Which reminds me, I need to go off on a tangent just for a moment, because Blizzard, if you are a World of Warcraft subscriber, then Blizzard have released a special non-combat pet, which I will link in the description for the EU version, as a Japan relief pet to carry out hatchling. 100% of the proceeds and all the money made from buying this companion for World of Warcraft is going to the Japanese release effort. So please, if you can, please buy this pet if you're a World of Warcraft subscriber and help donate to the Japan relief effort, and let's get an amazing country full of culture back up on its feet. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. Yeah, there's only been about 10 or so episodes subbed so far. But even so, first impressions are looking very, very good. I mean, the whole thing starts out with this huge Sentai battle. Basically, it is every single Super Sentai in the history of ever fighting space pirates. Every Super Sentai, I'll reiterate this again, every Super Sentai soldier, ranger ever fighting a horde of space pirates. You cannot get more awesome than this when it comes to Super Sentai. And as far as I'm aware, this series is actually supposed to be the 35th anniversary of Super Sentai. And so it reflects Kamen Rider Decade in some respects, in the sense that the Pirate Rangers, I'm just going to put Pirate Sentai Pirate Rangers, same thing. And you're going to hear me use a lot of mixed Japanese and American terms, because I grew up with Power Rangers, and many of the series I have not seen except when it comes to the Power Rangers adaptations. I'm not claiming that they are, you know, any sort of accurate or anything, but you get my point. But yeah, it starts off with that, and you then get a freaking pirate ship in space, which then spawns the Megazord instantly to kick ass. then once you're properly introduced to the characters, which are pretty interesting so far, you know, the leader, the red Sentai in this case is called bloody Captain Marvelous, and he is kind of self-absorbed and feels quite important, but not to the extent that Tendo from Kabuto or Tsukasa from Decade does. But really interesting. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of characterization really established in this first. I mean, you get some very basic ideas of the characters. You've got the airhead, you've got the tomboy girl, you've got the confident leader, and they are already all a team. I don't know whether other Sentai already established them as a team from the get-go, but you know, they come and fight. They're basically they quickly come to Earth, and what really amused me in the first episode is just how casually you know, they just react to a bloody pirate ship flying down from outer space to land in the middle of town. I mean, they're just kind of looking over them, like, you know, as my friend Richard put it, basically, you just look up and say, huh, a giant floating pirate ship coming down from outer space? Must be a Tuesday. And that sums it up, their reaction pretty nicely. And they're kind of like teenagers personified, really. I mean, they have the ability to fight, and when they become the Sentai, the Gokaiger Pirate Sentai, I'll just call them Pirate Sentai for the hell of it. When they become the Pirate Sentai, they can also switch with various figurines into previous Sentai forms, and it gets pretty damn silly. This is going to be a bit of a spoiler for one of the silliest things here, but when they go into the Go Ranger forms, they kick a rugby ball or an American football, which transforms into a bin lorry or dumper truck, whichever term you prefer, and it sucks in tons of the freaking pirate hordes. It's establishing itself as ridiculous. It's Sentai. I know it's supposed to be ridiculous, and it's a lot more light-hearted and a lot less serious than the Kamen Rider, and this is aimed at a younger audience. I can see that, and it's also, you know, establishing the motives. Really, the first battle they're fighting because the curry shop they were eating at gets blown up, and so does their money, and so they're taking revenge for both the money and the you know, the bloody parrot. What am I saying? Almost said paradox there. I'm looking at bloody things on meme base. But yeah, they're just eating curry and it just explodes, and now they're taking revenge for it. And it quickly gets into the action, really, and is establishing the villains, who aren't they not really stand out very much. And to be honest, none of the characters really stand out and grab you. I mean, they're interested, but it's mostly the action that's keeping me interested in this, and the silliness of it all. Just how, you know, kind of extraordinary it is. It really is, you know, pretty silly. And that's pretty much all Sentai from what I understand, but this is so far, it's really well done. It's kept my interest, and it is starting to develop the characters a little bit in some form of motives that they're getting, you know. If they think the Earth is worth saving, then it's going to be worth saving. And they've already shown the Megazord, and I'm just looking for when they transform into more recognisable Sentai forms for me personally. But yeah, to wrap it up, despite the characterisation not being as good as it perhaps could be, and if you're too serious, you won't enjoy this. But if you could have a laugh and you enjoy and you generally like the overall silliness of Super Sentai, then this is something definitely worth checking out. And I will continue to follow this series and perhaps give my final thoughts once I'm all finished with it, really. And it's also going to encourage me to look into other Sentai and perhaps compare them with how the Power Rangers do, and see if, you know, I I'm not one who's really, picky about adaptations or anything, but if it's epic and keeps the spirit of the show, then I'm generally happy. So yeah, this is my first thoughts on Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger. So this is the Nightmare Rider riding out.